Work. We're live! Yay! Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for this moment. Happy Thursday to you. I always have to start with that I'm coming in live and we're coming in hot and coming in fashionably late due to technical issues. Oh my goodness, you guys. I have the honor of having on today Mr. Fernie. I'm not even going to try to say your last name, but Fernie is an absolute legend in the network marketing space. I am not even going to try to tell you more about him because he tells his story so much more powerful than I can. But just know that he is a legend and you are in for a huge treat. So, Fernie, I would love for you to introduce yourself and say hello.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Drop me a number one if you guys can hear me and see me. If everything's working. Mic, very expensive mic setup sometimes doesn't work, ironically. So, thank you for having me, Michelle. I've heard a ton about you. John Melton has been singing your praises, and I go way back with John. He's spoken at many of our events, and we've collaborated on so many things. He's one of the OG students of our community from over 10 years ago, where he was making the shift from offline to online. And so I was like, John, who on your team is crushing it right now? I want to get to know them. I want to collaborate with them. And the first person he brought up, was Michelle, hands down. Didn't bring up anyone else. He was just like, you got to talk to Michelle. And so that's the reason I'm here. Um, you wanted me to share a little bit about my background? Is that
Yes, I want to hear your background, how you got
awesome?
started. You used to be an engineer and now you're like the biggest, part of network marketing in the world. So tell us a little bit about you, how you got
Yeah.
here.
So, I was born on a Thursday. I'm just kidding. Uh, so yes, I grew up, poor, but in a loving home, and I was a nerd. And so I did really well in school. And long story short on that part is I went to MIT, thinking I was going to become an engineer, and going to the most prestigious, technical institution in the world, Nobel laureates, the most uh, elite physicists, engineers, and even business owners, and entrepreneurs come out of MIT. And I thought I was going to be set after graduating from there, and I did. And you are brainwashed like hell when you go to a school like that to believe you're the best in the world and that the world is your oyster. And I bought into that vision, and I'm so glad that I bought into that vision, because when I left MIT and went to work in the real world and got a job in aerospace, I worked on top secret space programs for the government. I worked in national defense, with a defense contractor, on spy satellites and in missile defense programs. And that sounds cool, but I actually hated it all. Like it was just like none of it. It was misery for me to be working there for a lot of reasons. One is like I didn't have control over what I did, so I had no freedom around what I worked on. My income was capped, and I made nowhere near the amount of money people thought I made. And I had to like drive to and from work 3 hours every day, and that was misery. I'm not a morning person. I don't like to get up early in the morning. And it was, I realized like, hey, this is like a half of my life that I'm awake. I'm going to be doing this. And that reality set in, and I just was looking for a way out. And I did go back to grad school thinking that maybe more school was the way out. Maybe I can find a higher position somewhere else. But there's where I was introduced to network marketing. A homework partner attending USC grad school, who also went to an elite school for his bachelor's, invited me to a meeting, and I thought it was a meeting to start some sort of Silicon Valley startup. I thought it was like a meeting of engineers from different elite schools, and I was like, oh wow, okay, well they invited me. They want me to collaborate, on this like new startup or something, or maybe there's new technology they're working on. They heard I'm from MIT and maybe they think I can help. Okay, awesome. And then I go there, and it ends up being a meeting for network marketing, and they start drawing circles on a board. And So I was tricked basically into a meeting. He didn't tell me anything about it. He made me think it was something else that wasn't. And I hated every bit of it. I was one of those, is this one of those pyramid scheme things? I was very cocky. And I just, when I left, I was like, I had no intention of getting started in network marketing. But for 2 weeks, I just, something gnawed at me that like no one else had given me another option. I'm still stuck at my job. I'm still stuck doing something I don't enjoy doing. I loathe doing. I don't look forward to doing. Um, and my dream, I had very low dreams at the time. My dream was to be able to wake up whenever I was done sleeping. That was my dream. And it just like enjoy my day. I'm like, I like to live a stress-free life. And so, but that was not going to be possible with what I was doing. And so 2 weeks later, I called him back and said, let's get started. And I did it old school. This was in 2005. I did it the traditional way, home parties, home meetings, etc., for 9 months. I actually grew pretty fast and built a team doing it that way. Now, I didn't enjoy the process of building. I didn't like any of it. I felt very inauthentic. I was being taught, kind of deceptive or sleazy strategies, but I did them anyway. It was like a means to an end. And but I was burning out, and my team was not willing to do what I was willing to do. And pretty soon they all quit, and I was the last man standing, and that kind of sucked. So 9 months into it, I'm just pretty much back where I started after all that work, and I just started searching. I don't know what I was searching for because I didn't know whether this can be built on the internet, but I thought maybe it can. My engineering background, like, biases me more towards doing things on the internet, and this is pre-social media. And so I started searching and found a website called Magnetic Sponsoring, and they were talking about building a network marketing business online on the internet, pre-social media, and about being able to attract prospects to you online and grow a big downline and team online. And I'm like, okay, I gotta, this looks like a scam, but I'm gonna check it out anyway. I was like, is that desperate? And it changed my entire paradigm. I was introduced to digital marketing strategies applied to network marketing by my mentors, Mike Dillard and Tim Irway. And it was under a company called Magnetic Sponsoring, and that just, I fell in love with that strategy. It was the first time I was being spoken to like an adult in the network marketing space. Before that, I was being given, basically told what to do, but not how to do it. It was like, hey, just bring more people to meetings, more people to meetings, but there was no real skill development. There was a denial that the old school way of building was actually sales. So I was being taught sales skills, but not very well. And my team, I had no way of teaching my team any of those skills. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go this other direction. And that's where I first heard the term attraction marketing, because that term was actually coined by my mentor, Mike Dillard. And they are the ones that started a revolution in network marketing on building your business online. And it was loathed and hated by most leaders at the time. But the distributors that were struggling, even though they were motivated and working hard and they were really struggling, they gravitated towards that, like me. And within 2 years, I built a six-figure business and was able to quit my job. 2 years later, I had one of the largest residual income checks in my company. And I also started a training company. And one of the things within this training company was an event business. It was actually an in-person business, an in-person event that brought together some of the most elite digital network marketers, people that are building online, to teach. So it was kind of the irony. It's like I started an in-person event business to teach people how to build online, but people loved it because they still wanted to meet these uh, these these influencers and these gurus on this very rare strategy at the time. And so that was in 2010, and in 2 months' time, we sold 1,000 tickets for an event in Las Vegas at the Venetian. And I continued that business, and that became one of the biggest events in the network marketing space at the time. And then in 2014, one of my mentors, Mike Dillard, was leaving the company and leaving network marketing and going to do something else. And his business partner, Tim Irway, who was his mentor and my mentor, Tim had been building network marketing businesses online since the year 2000, so well over 20 years ago. And he invited me to basically take Mike's place and partner with him. So I merged my assets with the company, And ultimately, we rebranded and now we're known as attractionmarketing.com. So I'm actually an owner, a partner in the exact same organization that I was a student in. And in 2014, we decided to do something different. And actually, we're starting to do that before then, as early as 2011, which is, commit ourselves to creating an actual mentorship program for people, kind of like almost like a university for attraction marketing. And the reason for that was inspired by my own background. Anything anything that I consider great or that I'm proud of that I accomplished in my life, I only accomplished within the environment of mentorship, accountability, and structure. So, my MIT degree is a perfect example of that. They do things differently from other universities. It's the reason they produce, some of the most elite scientists and engineers and entrepreneurs in the world. It's like they work you really hard, they grow you really hard, but then they have these like stack of layers of support. So if you fall through the cracks on one, the other one catches you. And so, I mean, if you need one-on-one tutoring, they're going to get you one-on-one tutoring. If you need smaller groups or smaller classroom, they're going to get you that. If you need mental health support, they're going to get you that. If you fall and crack your skull, well, there's a hospital right there, and they're going to take care of you, free of charge. It's like they have this support where they don't want you to leave. They don't want you to leave until you graduate. And so they have a 95% graduation rate as a result of it at one of the hardest schools in the world, training the most elite people in the world, yet their graduation rate is insanely high relative to most other universities. And I'm also a martial arts champion. I trained martial arts for 10 years and I've won gold medals and championships. I would not have been able to accomplish that in my wildest dreams if not for my martial arts master, my teacher, and the environment that I trained in. In fact, up until when I won my first championship, I was going into that final championship match, and every match I competed in, always thinking I was going to lose. So I had no belief in myself, but I
Mhm.
was in an environment that trained me like a champion. And it wasn't until I actually became a champion that I actually believed, hey, I'm actually a champion. And it was the environment that supported that. It was the accountability. It was the fact that there were people that are not willing to let me give up. And in my business journey as well, having my mentors and being in a structured environment, I invested $60,000 to have that structured environment. And 9 months after being in that environment, I had a multiple six-figure month of income. And not in my wildest dreams would I have thought that was possible. So that gave me a kind of gave me an indication. I was like, well, there's three massive data points in my life that there might be people like me that have enormous potential, and
Mhm.
but they're not the type that are going to kind of figure it out on their own. Like I wasn't the type that was going to figure it out on my own. And so that's what we created. And so attraction marketing as a company is really about mentorship and creating an environment that helps those people that on their own can't break through, but with help and support they can. So
Wow, brilliant. I love that. Very inspiring. Seriously. And what a
thank
genius
you.
idea. You turned some of your biggest weaknesses into your top strengths. It's really inspiring.
Absolutely.
And what you're going to talk about today, which what is today's topic? Share this because it's absolutely crazy insane what technology does and the things that you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, my engineering background lends me to the one thing I'm not afraid of, and is technology. Um, but I'm not a brilliant coder. I'm not a brilliant programmer. I did that in the past. I don't know a damn thing about it today. I don't do any of that stuff. I know as much about computers today as just about anybody else. In fact, my mentor Tim, he's a high school dropout, and he, probably at this point knows way more about technology than I do, in terms of being able to use it for business purposes. I'm constantly learning from him. I tend to focus more on the creative side of business and marketing and attraction marketing, um, because that's what I enjoy doing. So I don't actually enjoy tech. I don't enjoy engineering. I am intimidated by technology. That being said, uh, we've made the commitment when we started that we were going to be that beacon of light for people that want to build a different way in the most cutting edge way possible. And that if we see something working for our students that is one, building online, and two, highly leveraged, that we're going to share it with people and that we're going to talk about it, and regardless of what any leader thinks. There's a lot of leader that they want to keep information from their team. They want to like focus on them on continuing to do the three ways and the one-on-ones and the prospecting and the cold messaging and all that stuff, because they think that's what's duplicatable. I mean, the idea is duplicatable, but if you guys ever tried to cold prospect, you know that's not duplicatable. It's freaking hard to cold prospect people. And so I'm more like, if I'm willing to work hard on building a system that then makes the recruiting and enrollment easy. And so as opposed to have no system and work really hard on the recruiting and enrollment, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
so we've focused on creating leverage and showing our students how to create systems from the very beginning of their journey and not wait till they're a leader or top earner or any of that stuff. And there's two amazing opportunities right today that are available to network marketers. For one, attracting your perfect prospect, someone that actually is looking for what you have. Michelle, you're brilliant at this part, and so I know you're going to be training at an event we're having on around this topic. But first, it's about attracting, and today, you don't. Back in my day when I first started doing attraction marketing, I had to build websites and build an email list and run ads to be able to attract prospects, which I happily did. I'd happily pay a few bucks in advertising as opposed to go prospect at the mall. And so, but today we have social media. We don't have to build websites to get started. We don't have to build an email list to get started. We basically are growing an audience on our social media channels. And the biggest opportunity today is I believe Reels and TikTok. Short form, like micro video content, is another term to kind of encapsulate everything. Um, because these videos are super easy to create. And if you understand how the algorithm works, if you know how to reverse engineer, or kind of like, you reverse engineer what other people are doing, it's an amazing opportunity because it's basically free advertising for whatever you're doing if you know how to do it right. And so, many of our students are going viral all over TikTok and Instagram and Facebook with reels and the short form video content. And then their inbox is blowing up. So their inbox is blowing up with conversations, people interested in what they're doing, people raising their hand, requesting more information. I'm like, what bigger dream in network marketing is there? Today, there's still people teaching like, hey, here's your phone, your contact list is your prospect list. Start working through it. I mean, like that's insanity to me. It's like I'd rather gouge my eyes out than do that. And so so because you don't need to, you can create there's so many opportunities online, and I'm just talking about one, but I think the one that people are really leaning into, and there's a lot of duplication happening, is with micro video content to attract prospects. But then this creates another problem. The problem it creates is now it becomes so much easier to attract prospects that you're in all these conversations on Messenger and in the comments of all your content. It's like, one, how do you keep up with all of that? Two, do you even have the skill set to know how to conduct those conversations, what questions to ask, etc., so that you can have a higher conversion from those conversations into customers or even team members? And that's where the skill, the old school network marketing skill set happens. It's like, all right, technology brought people to you. You got prospects to talk to. Now do your job. And people are like, I don't I don't know what to do. What do I ask? And so yeah, so we've you can solve that by teaching people scripts and training them on basically how to do a low, kind of like a low level of sales, which is what we call an enrollment conversation, on basically how to effectively ask questions so that it builds the urgency for people to want to solve their problem and buy. And we're really great at doing that. We teach that. You have to know how that works. But we're like, okay, we are who we are. We're about staying on the cutting edge. So we basically developed an AI bot that has the conversation for you. And so now when people reach out, when they comment and reach out, uh, there's an automatic response But, there's you can do an automated response using something like ManyChat, but ManyChat, ironically, from its name, will not actually chat with the person. It won't actually have a conversation with people. It's not intelligent. You have to program it to basically ask multiple choice questions, and then the person, based on how the person responds, it'll answer in a certain way. But what if you can have an actual AI that is powered by ChatGPT actually have a real conversation, and have that AI be already trained in sales, so it knows how to have a sales conversation, and elevate the motivation and urgency of that prospect, so that they actually want to get started now versus later, where they actually don't ignore your messages. I think that's where people drop the ball, where they're going viral, going crushing on social media, but then the conversations that are happening in Messenger, one, they're not getting to them fast enough when the iron is hot. Two, they're probably not trained on how to have those effective conversations, because now we're talking about a sales skill. And so what if you can have an actual intelligent bot have those conversations, and have it either set appointments for you so that they book people on your calendar, refer people to buy your product, or whatever other call to action you want them to take. The other thing is this bot will actually collect emails and phone numbers. So you can program it to actually give something away of value in exchange for a freebie of some kind or for information. And so now you can build an email list, you can build an SMS list that you can then broadcast, and follow up with, and you can basically automate that part too. And so this sounds like a network marketing dream and a fantasy, but it's actually a reality today, and it's a lot easier than people think. You can basically program the spot with like about 5 paragraphs of information about your business, and then it's ready to go. You just got to integrate it with Facebook, and we're done. And so that's like what we're working on with our students right now. There's a lot of things we work on with our students, a lot of different systems we help them create, duplication systems, lead generation systems. But this is the newest system that we've developed and are actively working in with our students to create, because it just creates so much freedom. And I we're using it in our business too. So, we actually, if I actually watch the conversations happen. Like, sometimes I get notifications and I just open my phone and the bot's talking to a person, and you really can't tell that it's a bot. Sometimes they get skeptical, sometimes they go, is this a bot? And of course we don't lie to them, we tell them, yes, I'm an AI. But they're skeptical, but they're not sure. And we've managed to be able to convert spammers into customers, people that were trained to cold message and spam stuff to people, and they spam us. Well, the bot will respond to them and start a conversation. And the cool thing about the bot is, like, it doesn't sleep. It has the patience of an angel. It's super encouraging. It's always positive no matter what you send them. You could send it, hey, ground floor opportunity, click here to join. Here's the link. We're going to get rich. And the bot will always come back. That's amazing. I'm so glad you found something that works for you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm good. I don't need an opportunity, but I'm really happy for you. Just curious, how are you generating leads for your business right now? Like, that's how the bot responds. And so the person can't help but, like, answer the question. And especially because they were so encouraging and positive, and reinforcing the person's decision about their opportunity. But it always asks questions. It always ends every interaction with a question, just like a good salesperson. So
Yeah.
that's like the overview of what we're working on. What do you think?
Yes, that's incredible. And I know that when we go to at the event, we get to be a part of the training, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," because it makes sense, because right now there really is no excuse for anyone, because even going to chat AI being like, hey, I'm having a discussion with Fernie right now, and he
Mhm.
brought up, how he's going to play basketball, and I don't know how to keep the conversation going. Can you please help me? I mean, I mean, it's just right there for you, and it's
Right.
incredible. So there is no more, I don't know how to have conversations. I don't know how to overcome an objection, because you're right. what you bring to your students, which how can you be, you can go to attractionmarketing.com, right? To find out more information.
Yeah, yeah, but we're gonna give them a link right now where rather than, I mean, we have a process that people go there that is super valuable and informative. But if people want to learn specifically about what's most cutting edge right now and what we're talking about, I think we're gonna have an event, in-person event and a virtual event that people can attend to learn about both the things I just talked about. To one, learn from multiple six and seven figure earners on how to do social media effectively. And a big topic of discussion will be micro video content. In fact, by the end of that event, people are going to be, I'm not going to say they're going to be sick of hearing about Reels and TikTok, but it's probably they're going to go, wow, this Reels and TikTok thing is probably something I should lean into if, almost every single speaker is referring to it. And they're going to teach you their own style, their own way of attracting enrollments, attracting prospects, including Michelle. I know, Michelle, you're going to be speaking on, how you do 90K of volume, of sales volume personally yourself and not go crazy. I think that's incredible because you've set up a lot of systems and leverage. I know you have a massive following on social media and you're crushing it, attracting enrollments from social media. But you're going to be speaking about a lot of what happens after the fact, both what you do to attract them and then how you serve them and can make, can make that much in sales on your own, much less what your team does. And so we're going to hear from a every speaker is going to have their own style. And that's cool because every speaker also has a different personality and we all have different personalities. And you're going to find a personality that resonates for you. Like if you're an introvert, you're going to really like what I have to share because what I gravitate towards tends to be more introverted strategies. That means I minimize my interactions with people, maximize the amount of automation and leverage I can create and have, um, and focus most of my time on the things I enjoy. That's like, as an introvert, I do that. An extrovert does the opposite. An extrovert wants to talk with people and wants to network and loves to be out there. If you look at, we've had, between myself and my mentors, we've mentored thousands of six, seven, eight figure earners, people that have started from scratch and achieved those incomes. And you think, wow, Fernie's social media following must be massive. And it isn't. My personal following is not. My company's is pretty big, but mine is not because I use social media for sharing, photos of my kids, or my kid or doing stuff with my family, or occasionally I take pictures of my food. That's what I use social media for. I don't use it, my personal profile, I don't use it very much for business, because I don't have to, because I have so much automation and ongoing lead generation. My business generates between 100 to 200 leads a day on autopilot. And so I don't have to do that stuff. Other people, they love doing that. Even our students, many of our students who I taught them the automation strategy, how to like basically generate these leads on their own, but they prefer being on all the social media channels, being out there. They love creating content. They love interacting with people, and more power to them. It's the same principle, different strategy. And so people are going to find somebody that they gravitate towards. The before the workshop, before the main event, we're going to have a day and a half workshop for the event where we're going to be teaching people how to set up these AI bots. So I'm going to let our speakers and trainers who are crushing it like you teach on the social media aspect of the equation. But once you've taught them how to get all the interactions, all the comments, all the conversations going, the part that I'm going to focus most of my energy on at the event is going to be at the pre-event workshop where we show people how to set up these AI chatbots that have conversations for you, that'll have them better than you can. They don't sleep, so they'll have them 24/7 with whomever responds, and they'll collect emails, they'll collect phone numbers, and convert people into customers or appointments on your calendar. So that's what I'm gonna show you on the geeky stuff, how to do that right before the event, and then during the main event for 3 days, our trainers and speakers are gonna just do an incredible job teaching on how to attract and build influence and convert customers and team members from TikTok, from Facebook, from Instagram, from YouTube, and so much more. And there, even just within those platforms, there's so many nuances and differences between people. So that's what's happening. I know, Michelle, I gave you a link. I don't know if you want me to put it, but
Yeah,
if you
drop
go,
it.
yeah, if they go to attractionmarketing.com/MD, so attraction marketing. I actually can't drop it. Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, no, I can't drop it. So attractionmarketing.com/MD. I'll just send it to you. This event is happening next weekend, starting, the workshop is starting on Thursday. The main event is starting on Friday. And so I just messaged to you, Michelle, on Messenger. But so I don't know if you can drop it in the chat on your end, because I'm not able to put it in the chat. But at this event, we're going to have some of the most successful digital network marketing leaders, multiple six, seven-figure earners that are going to be teaching you on all the strategies I talked about for using social media. And then if you want to learn about the AI part and how to actually have your own chatbot, then a day and a half before the event starts, we're going to basically do a hands-on implementation workshop on how to set up that AI chatbot with yourself. We're going to show you what system we use. It's a proprietary system that we developed. And so you can't just, grab it out there. We're going to give you templates for everything. So we're going to both show you how to do it yourself. So we're going to have teaching on here's how you would have a conversation in Messenger to convert a customer. And then we're going to show you, okay, well, here's how you use an AI bot to just do the same thing. And so that way you can actually, you can be the manager of the bot. You know whether it's doing its job effectively or not. And if it says something weird, you know what you need to change in order to make it even better. So you can actually continue to work to improve the bot. So we're going to show you both the skill set to do it yourself if you're not ready for the technology. But if you want to use the technology, we're going to show you how to program the bot. And the programming, I don't want that word to scare people. Programming doesn't mean you're writing code. You're just literally writing words. You're just describing to the bot, like you would a brand new employee, what business you're in, what do you do, how do you serve people, what do you sell, and the basics of your business. It already knows how to sell, so you don't need to teach it how to sell. It just needs to know about your business so that it can sell what you are offering.
Wow, I'm really excited. Did you say it was attractionmarketing.com/M for mom, D?
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
like Michelle Dworak, but it's attractionmarketing.com/MD. And of course, I'll be there, and so will Fernie, and so will Mr. Melton. There's tons of people. I mean, all the legends are going to be there. So
Yeah.
it's really going to be amazing. It's in California. It's. I mean, I just can't wait to this training alone. And the thing, being an entrepreneur, and something about you, Fernie, is that you've always stayed up to the times. You never are like, you know what, I'm a know-it-all and I know everything and I'm really good, because you work really hard, you always have, but you're constantly like, oh, okay, I need to tap into this, like I need to learn this, and
Hmm.
you have to, just like your kids, as much as you're like, you can never have an iPad. It's like, my father-in-law says that to me, and it's like, but she has to, because like if she goes to school, they work on laptop or on iPads now. You have to stay up to par with technology, because this is
Hmm.
what's happening, and this is how the e-commerce of social media is becoming. So it's
Yeah.
all positive things, and you're still a part of it. It's just something that you can leverage to help you. So I think it's absolutely incredible. Make sure you guys at least go check out the event and the details to it. You definitely don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
And how many students do you have total, Fernie?
I mean, in terms of active students right now, we have close to 1,000. In terms of over the history of our company, that's on the millions of people that we've impacted that have either, uh, you know, gone through free course training, or actually the free stuff is actually more on par to like 5 million. People that have actually purchased something from us around 1 million students. And then people that are currently active in coaching. But if I add the people that we've coached in the past, that's tens of thousands of people that we've worked with closely in a structured environment, like a university environment. And coming out of that, about 3 to 4,000 six-figure earners or above.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible. You've changed a lot of lives. I look at all the testimonials. They're like, love Fernie, 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 Fernie. I'm like, wow. Yes. And John's been a student of yours for a very long time. So I'm really happy that John introduced me to you, because before that, I did not know who you were, and you were quite a big deal. So, is
No.
there anything that you want to leave these people with?
I mean, so just in case people wonder about events, because I think that the network marketing space has done a terrible job of in terms of how they conduct events. Most network marketing events are rah-rah motivation, a lot of hype, a lot of stories of people's, transformation, but very little substance. We're the exact polar opposite. If you come to our event, you're going to be full, like your brain's going to melt from the amount of training that we put on. And that's intentional. Like we are not a hypey type of event. You're coming there to learn. You're going to have a binder full of notes of real actionable information that's relevant today. We don't teach old school stuff. You're not going to learn how to prospect. You're not going to learn how to do a three-way, any of that stuff. There's plenty of people teaching that stuff. You're going to learn the most cutting edge strategies from people who are actually doing it right now. You're going to learn stuff that perhaps your upline doesn't want you to learn. You're going to learn stuff that a lot of leaders don't want to teach, even if they do it themselves. And so we're kind of different in that way, and you could say in some ways we're the black sheep of the network marketing space, because we're just willing to have the conversations that others are not willing to have, and we're willing to teach the things that people are at the very least hesitant to teach, if not totally against teaching. Yet it all works, and every single thing that you're going to learn that weekend, you're going to see examples of real six-figure, multiple six-figure, seven-figure earners on stage that have proven every single strategy that you learn is working, and they're going to be your primary instructors. So that's the one thing. You can come also in person. You can actually come to meet John, meet Michelle, and meet all these amazing leaders. We're going to have people in the audience as students who have made 50, where one leader in the audience has made $50 million in his career in network marketing, and he's coming there as a student to learn, because he comes from the more traditional world, and he's coming there and there to learn. So if somebody of that caliber or that background is going to this event to learn these strategies, I think it's a good idea for just about anybody else to do that as well. And you can, if you can't make it in person, do the live stream. But I recommend the in person, because this is actually going to be our last in-person event with a big audience. We're not going to do in-person events that are available to the public after this one. So it'll literally be the last opportunity to basically hang out with these amazing people. The other thing I'll say is, at the event, it's going to be no more than 125 people. So that's where we max out 125 people. The amount of six-figure plus earners in the room are going to be about 20 to 25. So the ratio in terms of you being able to network and connect and pick the brains, not just learn from stage, but actually network and party with some of the biggest influencers and most successful people in the space, I think it's going to be better than anywhere else you could go for the amount of money that you would invest in a ticket to be there. And also, if you do stay at the hotel, we'll automatically upgrade your ticket to an all access pass, which is basically a VIP pass. Means you can go to all the parties, all the networking events. We're going to have, hors d'oeuvres and food and stuff. So all you got to do is come to the event. And if you stay at the hotel, we're going to upgrade your ticket so you come to the parties. And if you can't do that at all, if it's too last minute, then at least do the live stream. And time's running short because the event is in about a week.
Yes, awesome. So see you guys there. It's right there for you. www.attractionmarketing.com/MD. And then Fernie, where can they find you online?
I mean, basically, you guys can find me at any social media channel. My handle is Fernie Ceballos. So on Instagram, on Facebook /Fernie Ceballos, where you can connect with me personally. From a training standpoint, there'll be links on my profile that you can go if you want to just get started with the most basic training that all our students have gotten started with. You'll also be able to find it on those channels as well.
Awesome. Fernie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you shouting it out and cheering my audience on, because what you just shared with us completely blew my mind, and I'm pretty sure their minds are blown as well. So I really appreciate your time because I know that you're an extremely busy man, and I'm really excited for next week and really nervous at the same time.
It's my honor. I'm so glad that John connected us. I look forward to hanging out, meeting you. It's a really cool space where we can meet some incredible people that are highly motivated, and being able to go in an event where people can hang out with people like you is a different thing, because most of the time people are trying to build their business in an environment that doesn't support them,
Yep.
that is not moving in the same direction. And so if you can spend 3 4 days in a room with people like Michelle that are all moving in the direction and determined to achieve their dreams, that changes your chemistry, that changes something in your DNA, where all of a sudden you become a lot more resilient and even immune to the BS that you might deal with at home or from your friends and family, because you've met the people for real, you've seen what they're teaching, you know the strategies work. And so events can be transformational in that way. It's not just about, oh, let me rub against Michelle so some of her juju rubs off on me. No, it's about like being in the environment where the energy in that environment changes you, and it transforms you into an entrepreneur that can achieve like what Michelle has achieved in her business. So that's really the reason you attend events, to be there in person, is because that environment will transform you. You'll learn on a deeper level than you can from any live stream or recording. And it's something you just have to experience in order to believe it. I don't expect people to believe what I'm just saying right now, but Michelle, I know you know it's true.
Oh yeah, leaders are where events are made, or at events are where leaders are made.
Hmm.
I don't miss any events. Like I'm like anyone, like, oh, network marketing event, let's go, let's go. I mean, you can never you catch different things at certain times, different buzzwords go off, light bulbs go off, and you can never grow yourself enough. So I really appreciate it and I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.